Everyone, we are group 4. I'm going to briefly introduce our project. Our project is Cappadocia in Turkey and the Ram Earth House in Taiwan. And the reason why we chose Cappadocia for our project is that one of our teammates once learned about this wonderful place in her class. And we also that you should know this place. So we decided to introduce it to you. And meanwhile, the Ram Earth House in Taiwan has its historical significance and it has representative of our local culture. So our project was formed. Then I'm going to hand the presentation over to the next speaker.
Hi everyone, I'm Lai Xiaoshen. And now I'm going to introduce the foreign cultural part, that is Cappadocia in Turkey. Cappadocia lies in central Anatolia and in the heartland of Turkey. It is a high plateau over 1,000 meters, which was formed by ancient volcanic eruption. And the volcanoes are still active today and continue to be part of the interesting rock landscape. It is a picture of famous fairy chimneys. The rocks here have various shapes. One of it looks like a cap of mushrooms. And the climate in Cappadocia is hot and dry. It rains little in summer and snows in winter. And the history in Cappadocia started from the Hittite period. In 17 AD, the region became a Roman province. At that time, Ptolemy, the city in Cappadocia, became a refuge for Christians. They arrived here, hid here to escape the Rome's persecution. And they excavated many tunnels and caves for living spaces and built churches to worship their God. Also, they created fresco paintings in the cave chapel. Most of the paintings are related to Bible stories and are still well preserved to this day. And here are some famous churches in Galway. This is Apple Church. It doesn't look like a church, but when you go inside, wow. And next, this is the Dark Church. You can see many paintings on the walls, and these are most of the best artwork of Byzantine art. And then let's move on to the current situation in Cappadocia. The tourism there is very prosperous. Cappadocia is known around the world as one of the famous places to fly hot air balloons to view the spectacular landscape. And also, there are many cave hotels. And in the northern Cappadocia, tourists can visit Galway Open Air Museum and the Rose Valley. Also, there are many famous sites and tourist attractions in southern Cappadocia, such as the Rinkulo Underground City and Colomé Descent Peak. Also, the Whirling Dervishes Ceremony. It is an interesting dance performance. All the dancers dress in white and just keep turning round and round when they dance.
Hi everybody, I'm Hong Xiaowen. I'm going to introduce Luoshan in Hualien, Taiwan to you, and there are 4 sections of my report, including geography, history, architecture, and current situation. And let's take a look at the geography of Luoshan first. The village is surrounded by mountains and has a fountain and clean water. They also has fertile and good soil because it is derived from volcanic eruptions. With these conditions, Luoshan is a good place to develop organic agriculture as well as tourism industry. Next, the history part. Luoshan used to be called home of snails. It is now called Luoshan because the snails in Chinese is Luo. Immigrants from China, the Hakka people, came to Taiwan to look for a better place to live on the island. Their first choice is to find a place to settle down, so they built red earth houses all over the island. The houses are warm in winter and cool in summer. The Hakka people use local resources like mud and straw. They stir them together and dry them into solid materials. They took use of these mud bricks to build a wall. The houses need waterproof cornerstones to prevent them from being dissolved by rain. You can see many holes on the wall. A Magilla cassivera, a kind of bee, live there for breeding. Finally, nowadays people wanted to preserve the natural environment of the ocean, so they decided to develop the ocean into an organic village. They combine agriculture, activity, natural ecology, local history, and culture together to make it an ideal place to live. So they turn sea from an ordinary village to a popular tourist spot. It is famous for hot volcano tofu and fried puffed rice. You can stay there for several days to enjoy the relaxing rural life.
In the following, I'd like to compare the Luoshan Rabbit Earth houses with Cappadocia Cave Church and its underground city in three aspects: geographical environment and building materials. The second, cultural background, and then its preservation and future development. Luoshan, which located in Hualien, Taiwan, lies in a warm and humid countryside. Their ancestors used the most common material, mud, as the building material of rabbit earth houses. In the meanwhile, Cappadocia Cave Church and its underground city in Turkey has hot summer, cold winter, and is dry. The caves are carved in rock, which are much more stronger than the rabbit earth houses. The rabbit earth houses were part of the daily life of the Luoshan people. They built rabbit earth houses because the mud are easy to get in countryside. Most of the builders were farmers. They cooperate with their family and the neighbor to build their home, which demonstrated a spirit of unity among the people. In the meanwhile, Cappadocia, although those people who built the cave church and underground city were and those who built the cave church and underground city were the Christians persecuted by Roman rulers. The cave served not only as the shelter, but as the monastery to educate their priests. The cave recorded their story in the history. And finally, and the most important of all, the preservation and development. The geography features in Cappadocia are interesting, and therefore become the same in many films. But the climate there is not that attractive though. In comparison with Cappadocia, Luoshan is small and full of nature beauty. The local people make good use of their abundant resource, developing tourism and organic agricultural products to promote its village. However, the humid climate in Taiwan is unfavorable to the preservation of the rabbit earth houses. In addition, many of the elders who have the technique to build houses passed away. The technique was not handed down to the next generation. As a result, the rabbit earth houses become rare in present days. In contrast, although Cappadocia is an ancient historical site, it's becoming more and more prosperous. without any sign of decline. When we search on the internet to find the information for this report, the information of Cappadocia in the media seems much more complex and detailed. Furthermore, they make good preservation of their cultural treasure. Though Cappadocia witnessed the ravage of war and much political turbulence, most of the frescoes were well protected. Looking at the example of Cappadocia, how can we make a balance between preservation and the development? Can we preserve nature and culture and at the same time develop economy and the tourism in Taiwan? This is the issue that deserves our attention. Thanks for your listening.